The Alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.
Fellow citizens, following the sequence of events, Uganda seems to be at political crossroads.
I'm not a servant of anybody.
Madam, I know the law.
As such, Alternative Digital brings you the Interface Show with retired Colonel Dr. Kiza Besuje.
Let's keep on the same page on Alternative Digitalk,
As he gives you the alternatives on the transition question, rule of law, human rights and freedom, youth inclusion in governance, economic stagnation, as he confirms.
I'll be always here Saturday from 10 a.m. in the morning. Be there.
Don't miss the live discussion on the Alternative Uganda, Digitalk TV Facebook pages, and the Alternative Uganda YouTube channel.
The Alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.
Amacha amalungi gumunanga akedde naffe olunaku olwaleero lunaku lwakuna ennaku z'omwezi tubala 5 tuli mwezi ogwa Gatonnya oba January omwaka 2023 mbabuzaako yonna gye musinzidde okuba nga mutulaba. Happy new year munnange gwe wenna eyakatwegattako oba eyakandabako olunaku luno olwaleero. Happy new year nkwagaliza ate omwaka omulungi ogujjudde essanyu emirembe n'enkulaakulana. Nze omumbejja Luwedde Lilian era nga nkwaniriza nnyo ku programu eno eya Mighty Drive naye nga kanyomero k'olimu ke Mighty Global News Updates oba ebimu ku ebyo ebikoze amawulire mu bitundu by'eggwanga eby'enjawulo gye wabadde ne gy'otasobodde kubeera. So nkwaniriza nnyo era nga tugenda kuba tutambulira ddala okutuukira ddala ku ssaawa 4 ez'akalasamayanzi oba ssaawa 4 ez'amakya ag'olunaku luno olwaleero. Olunaku olwaleero mu studios tugenda kuba nga ate twegattibwako omugenyi waffe ow'olunaku omukulu Maseruka Sadat era nga programu eyo tugenda kuba tugikola ne munnange Rogers Tulyahabwe bwe tugenda okuba nga tutambula okutuukira ddala ku ssaawa 4 munnange ate wetunaawunzikira ndowooza nga ensonga z'otegedde nsonga ate nkulu nnyo naye nga tuulakalira munnange tusobole okuba nga ate tweyongera okumanya nga ate bwe tuyiga. Munnange nkutegeeza nti tuli butereevu ku peegi yaffe eya The Alternative Uganda awamu ne Digitalk TV ku Facebook gye mikutu kusobola okuba nga otufunira. The Alternative Uganda kugatta ne Digitalk TV ezo nno munnange ze pages kwe tubeera live ku Facebook. So nga ate ku Twitter tuli The Alternative Yuga at The Alternative Yuga ku YouTube tuli The Alternative Uganda. So gena munango subscribing ku YouTube channel yaffe otugoberere tulina programs ennyuvu nnyingi nnyo n'ezo ezaali zaawummulamu oba ezibadde zaasirikamuko ezigenda kuba nga ate ziddamu okutojjera buto mu mwaka guno gwennyini ogwa 2023. So tuulakkalira ebirungi munnange tugenda kuba nga tubikuleeterera ddala osobole okuba nga ate onyumirwa naye nga ate kwogatta n'okuyiga. So munnange nkutegeeza nti tubeerawo bulungi nnyo okuba nga ate tukutuusaako programs ez'enjawulo ezotasaanidde kubeera nga ate obuusa amaaso. Kakati kampiteyitemu ebimu ku ebyo ebyakoze amawulire mu bitundu by'eggwanga eby'enjawulo. Mu ennaku zino tubadde twogera nnyo ku nsonga ey'obubenje obususse oba bukutte ejjembe kakati mu ggwanga lino erya Uganda, era nga abamu ku bavuzi abavaayo okubanga boogera ku nsonga eno bategeeza nti ekimu ku bizibu bye bakyasinze okusangako okuba nti enguudo ezimu ziri mu mbeera mbi era nga ebinnya ebisusse mu nguudo okusingira ddala wano mu kibuga Kampala munnange biviiriddeko obubenje ate ne biviirako n'akalippagano k'ebidduka okusingira ddala nga enkuba etonnye oba ne mu ssaawa ezo abantu ze bagenderamu okukola awamu n'okunnyuka. Mu bitundu by'eggwanga eby'enjawulo enguudo ezimu bw'otunuulira embeera ze zirimu munnange ate yennyamiza. Olumu ku luguudo olwasinze okuba nga lwogerwako oba lunokolwayo lwe luguudo munnange oludda ate emunyonyo. Waliwo akatundu akamu wotasobola kubanga ate munnange otambula gwe ng'olina ekidduka ng'otambulira ku sipiidi gy'oba oyagadde olw'ensonga nti embeera y'oluguudo luno sayidi emu munnange si nnungi era nga basabye KCCA ebeeko kyekola ku luguudo luno naye era nga nayo yavuddeyo n'efulumya olukalala lw'enguudo ezo ezigenda okuba nga ate ziddaabirizibwa. Guno omulimu gugenda kuba nga gutandika mu February 2023 oba gwe mwezi ate ogujja. Ekitongole ki KCCA kyategeezezza nti ebimu ku ebyo bibadde bisibye okuba nti enguudo zino ziddaabirizibwa ye mwami Kasente era nga baba beetaaga essente okuba nga bakola emirimu gino naye nga munnange baba nga tebalina ssente ate tebasobola kuba nga ate bakola ekyo bannayuganda kye babasuubira okuba nga bakola. Era Director wa KCCA omukyala Dorothy Kisaka yavuddeyo n'ayogera ku nsonga eno ey'okuddaabiriza enguudo nga weewaawo kye bagenda maaso n'okuba nga bakola kwe kubanga bayiwamu ettaka mu binnya ebiri mu nguudo ez'enjawulo era nga yategeezezza nti kino kikolebwa okulaba nti enguudo zigenda maaso n'okuba nga zikozesebwa ab'ebidduka awamu n'abo ate abatambuza ebigere okusobola okulaba nti bayitamu bulungi bwe banaatuukira okuba nga baziddaabiriza kale nga munnange embeera simbi nnyo. So munnange ebyo nno bye biva esayidi eyo era nga kino munnange kigenda kuba nga kikolebwa okuba nga batereeza enguudo zino abazikozesa ate basobole okuba nga ate beeyagala bulungi. Era bwe nneeyongerayoko omulodi w'ekibuga Kampala Ssaalongo Elias Lukwago naye yavuddeyo n'akoona ku nsonga eno y'embeera y'enguudo nga bw'eyimiridde okusingira ddala mu kibuga kino ekikulu ekya Kampala. Yategeezezza nti waliwo bamafiya bangi nnyo abali mu nsonga eno era abalya essente ziba ziweereddwayo okuba nga zibaako emirimu gye gikola bwe kituuka ku kutereeza enguudo. Era n'ategeeza nti waliwo enguudo ezimu eziddaabiriziddwa naye nga bw'otunuulira essente ze basaasaanyizza ku nguudo zino ssente munnange zibadde mpitirivu nnyo. Yakoonye ku luguudo luno lwennyini lwe tuliko olwa Lukuli Naŋŋanda n'ategeeza nti luno nno lwasaasaanyizibwako obuwumbi bubiri n'obukadde bw'ensimbi 700 era nga munnange zino ssente nti zaali mpitirivu nnyo okusinziira ku mulimu ogwakolebwa. N'akoona ne ku nguudo endala era nga muno mulimu olwa Nakawantinda luno lwawemmenta obuwumbi 9 n'ayogera ku luguudo olw'Emutundwe n'ategeeza nti nalwo lwatwalira ddala ensimbi mpitirivu nnyo n'ayogera ne ku nsonga munnange endala naye nga yategeezezza nti abamu ku bamafiya bano beekweka mu ky'okuba nti bagenda kuddaabiriza enguudo ate ne banyagira ddala ssente empitirivu. N'agamba nti ezimu ku nsimbi zino ezisaasaanyizibwa ku nguudo zino mu kuddaabirizibwa ssente ezo zibeera nnyingi nnyo era nga yategeezezza nti agenda kukola butaweera okuba nti ensonga eno erinnyibwa ku nfeete era ng'ensonga zino yezitutte ewakulira oludda oluwabula gavumenti omukulu Mathias Mpuuga era munnange n'amuloopera abantu abamafiya bano era yagenze maaso n'okubanga ayogera ate ku nsonga ez'enjawulo gye buvuddeko waliwo olupapulo olumu olwafulumya munnange ekiwandiiko era nga lwamuwandiikako lwafulumya ebbaluwa nga lutegeeza nti munnange yali eva ew'omukulu Salim Sale ng'egenda ewa Lord Mayor naye munnange ono nno yavuddeyo n'atangaaza ku nsonga eno era n'ategeeza nti abakulira oba abatwala olupapula luno yamaze dda okuba nga abakuba mu mbuga z'amateeka olw'ebyo ate bye bamuwandiikako era nga munnange yategeezezza nti ye tagenda kubanga asirika n'ategeeza nti kyaliwokko emabegako ne bamuliyirira ate ssente ezawulirako ddala zagamba nti munnange yaziwoomerwa era n'ategeeza nti ne ku mulundi guno yabatute dda mu mbuga z'amateeka okulaba nga ate afuna obwenkanya olw'ebyo ye byagamba nti ebitali bituufu munnange bye bamuwandiikako era nga ngenda kubanga neeyongerayo n'emboozi ate endala tukyagenda mu maaso n'okubanga tukungubagira abannaffe abo abatuva ku maaso bwe baali mu bijaguzo ebyokwaniriza omwaka omujja wali ku Freedom City naye nga gye buvuddeko omutegesi w'ebivulu omukulu Abbe Musinguzi abangi gwe bamanyi ennyo nga Abitex ono nno munnange kakati yaweerezeddwa mu kkomera era nga ono egimu ku misango egyamuguddwako bwe bulagajjavu era nga buno bwaviirako abantu 10 okuba nga ate bafiira ku Freedom City kuba nti baali mu bijaguzo bino naye ng'ate bo bannamateeka abamu okulina munnamateeka we Ssaalongo Erias Lukwago bavuddeyo ne bategeeza nti munnange tebalina kubanga banenya muntu omu yekka omutegesi wabula waliwo abantu abeetaaga okubanga banenyezebwa kuno nno kuliko nannyini kifo kuliko abakuumi abaaliwo abapoliisi awamu n'abalala abaali bateekebwawo okubanga abakuuma ekifo kino nga waliwo ekivulu ne bategeezaako n'abantu ab'enjawulo abeetaaga okubanga bakwatibwa ku nsonga eno yennyini so ensonga eno tennaba kubanga eggwa naye nga omwogezi wa poliisi omukulu Fred Enanga naye munnange yavuddeyo n'ategeeza nti baayise dda abantu baabwe oba abapoliisi baabwe abaali mu kifo kino ng'enjege eno ate ebaawo era nga bano bagenda kubanga babuuzibwa akana n'akataano ku nsonga eno nga bwe yatambula naki kye balina okubanga ate munnange bakola kye bataasobola kukola abantu ate ne bafiirwa obulamu bwabwe era nga bagambye omukulu w'Enanga yagambye nti bagenda kuddamu ate bagoberere egimu ku mitendera egirina okuyitwamu nga omuntu ategeka ekivvulu era nga ebimu ku ebyo ebibadde birina okubanga munnange bikolebwa nga tewannaba ekivvulu kyonna tekinnabanga kubanga kitegekwa wabadde abantu bano badde balina okubanga bagoberera ebintu bino wammanga okusaba oba okuba n'ebbaluwa ebakkiriza okuba nti bategeka ekivvulu ekyo mu kifo ekyo baba bakitegese okufuna olukusa lwa poliisi okufuna olukusa okuva ewa nannyini kifo ebyokwerinda especially bino ebizikiriza omuliro munnange kwogatta okwekenneenya ennyingira n'enfuluma okuba nti munnange ate kalubiriza abantu bali mu kifo ekyo bwe wabanga waliwo enjega yonna yonna etuuseewo ebifo ebyokweteewulurizaamu oba ziyite toilets nga ziri mu mbeera nnungi nnyo munnange engeri y'okufugamu okuwoggana oba sound abeera ava mu kifo ekyo era nga bano balina okuba nga beekenneenya ekifo ekyo oba kirina amazzi n'amasannyalaze era baba balina okuba nga bekkaanya awanaatundirwa ebyokulya n'ebyokunywa nga bino bye bimu ku bibadde nga bigobererwa nga abategesi b'ebivvulu tebannaba kubanga bategeka ebivvulu munnange mu kifo kyonna naye nga mukulu Enanga yategeezezza nti bagenda kuddamu abeekenneenye ate guidelines zino ate munnange basobole okuba nti balungamya abategesi b'ebivulu bonna abateekateeka ebivulu ku biki ebirina okuba nga bigobererwa okwewala ate ng'ekyabadde ku Freedom City okuddamu ate okubaawo mu bitundu by'eggwanga eby'enjawulo. Ago nno ge mawulire ate agava esayidi eyo. Kakati ngenda kubanga neeyongerayo munnange poliisi yamaze dda okuba nga ekwata abantu 5 okuva mu district ey'e Kaliro mu ggombolola y'e Namugongo ku kyalo Namukoogo mu Busoga Region, era nga bino byakakasiddwa Busoga North Regional Police spokesperson oba omwogezi wa Busoga North Regional Police ASP Maseruka Sadat yategeezezza nti abantu bano bamaze dda okuba nga bakwatibwa, era nga bakwatiddwa mulimu Andrew Kamu, mulimu Bashir Baligeya, Michael Waiswa, Sharif Namugire, kunno kugatta ne Lydia Mukyala, era nga ekyakwasizza abantu bano kigambibwa nti babadde balina akakwate n'abayeekera aba ADF, era nga munnange bano nno bamaze dda okuba nga batwalibwa ku headquarters za Police Crime Intelligence nga bwe bagenda mu maaso n'okuba nga banoonyereza, era nga munnange ago ge mawulire agava esayidi eyo. Abantu bano bamaze dda okuba nga bo bagombebwamu obwala okuba nti bateebereza nti abantu bano munnange balabika balina akakwate n'abayeekera aba ADF oba ate aba Allied Democratic Forces. Munnange abo nno balumbako eggwanga Uganda ne batega bbomu, era nga kigambibwa nti bbomu zino zaatulika era ne zikosa abantu ate ab'enjawulo okwali abapoliisi awamu n'abantu ba bulijjo ate n'abalala munnange ne balugulamu obulamu. Ku ddakiika ziri 16 ze zaakayita ku ssaawa ziri 15 ezakayita ku ssaawa 2 ez'amakya ag'olunaku luno olwaleero. Ogenda mu maaso n'okulaba program The Mighty Drive, era nga tuli mu kanyomero kaffe aka Mighty Global News Updates. Nze omumbejja luwedde Lilian okubanga ate munnange nkutuusaako ensonga ezo nga bwe zitambula. Kakati bo abakulembeze mu ttundu ly'Acholi baagala gavumenti ebeeko engeri gy'eyambako abavubuka okwetandikira emirimu nga yeebeetendekedde mu nteekateeka gye yassaawo ng'eyita mu mukulembeze w'eggwanga. Bano bagamba nti okuweebwa obukugu ate era ne badda mu kwanjala engalo munnange kiba tekiyambirako ddala, era nga bano munnange basaba gavumenti ebeeko kyekola mu kubayambako okubaako akatono ke beetandikirawo. Tulabye nnyo abavubuka nga beekubira omulanga eri gavumenti okubaako engeri gye bayamba okuba nti nabo basobola okuba nga bino bye bayize, because abamu tulabyeko nga bayiga ebintu by'emikono, naye ng'ate basaba gavumenti ebeeko obuyambi bwonna bwebawa okusobola okuba nga beeyongereko. Akati nabano nabeera munnaye mu ttundu ly'Acholi, nabo basabye munnange gavumenti ebeeko engeri gye bakwatizaamu okuba nti basobola okuba nga nabo babaako kye beetandikirawo mu ngeri ate ey'okweggya mu bwavu. Naye nga munnange ago nno ge mawulire agava eyo, era nga bano babyogedde mu kutikkirwa kwabwe gye batikkiridde abaana abawerera ddala 2 mu nteekateeka eno eyatuumibwa Presidential Initiative. Bano nno basabye nga babakwatizeeko ate nabo basobole okuba nga beekulaakulanya. Kakati ngenda kubanga ate neeyongerayoko mu bimu ku ebyo ebirala ebyakoze amawulire. Buganda Caucus nayo munnange yatudde era nga beegattira mu umbrella yaabwe eya Buganda Parliamentary Caucus. Nabo basabye gavumenti munnange ewe accountability ku ttaka eriweebwa ba investors. Ettaka lino munnange ba investors babaddenga oba gavumenti ebaddenga eribawa okuteekawo amakolero ag'enjawulo okusobola okuba nti bawa bannayuganda emirimu ate n'okulaakulanya eggwanga mu nsonga z'ebyenfuna era nga munnange basabye gavumenti ate ereete olukalala lwabo abasobodde okubanga baweebwa amataka gano oba abasobodde okubanga baganyulwamu mu ngeri emu oba endala. So nyinza obutalambulula nnyo nsonga zino naye nga munnange ago ge mawulire agavudde sayidi eyo so nga ate bwe tuddako mu kisaawe eky'ebyemizannyo Cristiano Ronaldo yamaze dda okubanga munnanga atuuka mu ggwanga erya Saudi Arabia okubanga agenda kuzannyira ttiimu eya Al Nassr FC era ng'ono yayaniriziddwa ku kisaawe kya ttiimu eno munnange ne bamwaniririza ddala okubanga agenda kusambira ttiimu eyo okumalira ddala ebbanga munnange lya myaka 2 yabadde musanyufu nnyo nga ayanirizibwa ate munnange mu kisaawe kino ekya Al Nassr. Kinajjukirwa omukulu ono azannyiddeko ttiimu ez'amaanyi okuli Manchester United okuno kwogatta ttiimu eya Real Madrid eyo gye yava ate n'asobola okubanga addayo mu ttiimu ye enkadde eya Manchester United naye nga munnange ebintu tebyamutambulira bulungi nnyo naye ate nga nayo yavuddeyo kakati bwe twogerera yeegasse ku ttiimu eya Al Nassr FC wali mu ggwanga erya Saudi Arabia. So katulinde tulabe munnange nga bwe binaatambula esayidi eyo gye yagenze. Bano nno baasanyukidde ddala era bamwaniriza munnange mu nnyaniriza eri ey'essanyu epitirivu era nga ono basuubira okuba nti agenda kubanga abako kyakyusa mu ttiimu eyo yennyini awamu n'okubateebera ggoolo empitirivu anti munnange abasinga kye basinga okumumanyako nti wakwata ku mupiira kale butereevu gugenda bugenzi mu katimba gonno munnange ge mawulire agava ku sayidi eyo ku ddakiika 2 ezakayita ku ssaawa 2 ez'amakya ag'olunaku luno olwaleero. Mighty Global News Updates ngenda kusooka ate nzikomyekaawo katono nnyo tusooke tugendeko mu kuwummulamu bwe tukomawo n'omugenyi waffe omukulu Maseruka Sadat. Tugenda kuba twogera ku nsonga ez'enjawulo bingi ebikoze amawulire mu mwaka gwe twakakuba amabega oba omwaka ogwa 2022 era nga ebimu ku ebyo mu 2023 twetaaga okubanga oba aliawo gavumenti yeetaaga okubanga ebisaako nnyo essira ezimu ku ezo ensobi ze twakola mu 2022 ezeetaaga okubanga munnange mu mwaka guno tetuddamu kuzikola bina tugenda kubanga tubyogerako n'omugenyi waffe atubuulire ye ki kyalowooza ku nsonga nga zino. So tuwummulamu katono nnyo tukomawo tukyagenda ddala mu maaso. Nze Omumbejja Luwedde Didian temuvaawo.
The Alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.
Hello, beautiful people. You're welcome to the Snap Talk with your girl Teddy Tenjo every Saturday, right from 6 to 7.
Naku zino twajjirwa flat tami. Tukyayambalako ku ngoye obutukwata.
Wajja n'aku body shaming. Speak up. Gendo ba confronting obagambe ekyo kyemukola si kirungi.
Teweerabira nti tuli wano ku the Alternative Digitalk. Mukwano gwange gwaliye topic ki gyewandiyagadde twogereko, is it about family?
Era kize tata wange amanyira nkola n'obuvunanyizibwa nyina bungi era agezaako n'anyamba yambako yanda
Naye kumukubira kumubuuzaako noga mama we bali kunzaala.
Is it outside family? Is it society? Oh, could it be relationships?
Come and visit, call me. Simanyanga I miss you bichi. Especially embeera y'obudde si nnungi.
naye n'omuntu akwagalira mu season aba takwagala ze nkubuulira.
Just be commenting nga topic yona gyandiyagadde twogereko tujja kwa tujogera kwano ku the Alternative Digitalk ku share enganzi the Snap Talk. Fellow citizens, Following the sequence of events, Uganda seems to be at political crossroads.
I'm not a servant of anybody.
Madam, I know the law.
As such, Alternative Digitalk brings you the Interface Show with retired Colonel Dr. Kiza Besuje.
Let's keep on the same page on Alternative Digitalk,
As he gives you the alternatives on the transition question, rule of law, human rights and freedom, youth inclusion in governance, economic stagnation, as he confirms.
I'll be always here Saturday from 10 a.m. in the morning. Be there.
Don't miss the live discussion on the Alternative Uganda, Digitalk TV Facebook pages, and the Alternative Uganda YouTube channel.
The Alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.
Eddakiika ziri 25 zezakayita ku ssaawa 2 ez'amakya g'olunaku luno olwaleero program The Mighty Drive, your program gy'ogenda maaso n'okubanga olaba mu studios. Tulimu nze Omumbejja Luwedde Lilian Rogers tuli ahabwe awamu n'omugenyi waffe eyamaze dda okubanga atwegattako Maseruka Sadat ava mu kibiina kya Alliance for National Transformation, era nga tugenda kuba twogera ku nsonga ez'enjawulo. Agenda kuba tubuulira nga Alliance for National Transformation kiki ekituufu ekigenda mu maaso bwe kituuka ku nsonga z'abavubuka. Kakati tuli mu mwaka mupya ogwa 2023, nteekateeka ki ze balina mu mwaka guno n'ebirala bingi nnyo ebyagenda okubanga ate munnange atubuulira. Era nga nkutegeeza nti tuli butereevu ku peegi yaffe eya The Alternative Uganda, ye page kw'osobola okubanga otufunira, ate awamu ne Digitalk TV ye ze pages ku Facebook zosobola okubanga otufunirako. So beerako ate naawe obeera ekitundutundu ku discussion ey'olunaku olwaleero ng'ogenda butereevu mu comment section woba oteeka endowooza yo, tujja kubanga tugisoma nga program yaffe tennaba kubanga ewunzikibwa. Since mu studios ffenna tuli bavubuka, kooti yaffe egenda kubanga etambulira nnyo ku bavubuka era nga egamba we cannot always build the future for our youth but we can build our youth for the future. Kooti egamba we cannot always build the future for our youth but we can build our youth for the future. Nti munnange ffe ng'abavubuka tebalina kubanga batutegekera ebiseera by'omu maaso, wabula balina kubanga batutegeka ffe ng'abavubuka okweŋŋanga ate biseera bino eby'omu maaso ebiba bizze, embeera ki yonna yonna ebezze nga tusobola okubanga tujeŋŋanga. So kkooti yaffe eno ndowooza munnange ekwateko gwe omuvubuka ali eyo ng'oga nti munnange nze nniize gavumenti enkolere kino, nga gavumenti tennakukolera ekyo, gwe kennyini olina okubanga ositukiramu, olina okubanga ate obaako kye weekolera gwe ng'omuntu, ate okukyusa obulamu bwo n'okukyusa ate ebiseera eby'omu maaso. Tuleme okwekubagiza nga tugaa nti munnaffe tukyali bato, ebyokubeera nti tukyali bato, emyaka gigenda mu maaso. Bw'ova mu myaka egy'obuvubuka tetudda mu gya buto, wabula ate oyongerako n'obanga okaddiwa oba okudda ku level eddako. Kanyanirize mwami Rogers atulamuseeko, ate alamuse n'omugenyi waffe amwanirize programu yaffe etambuliraawo olunaku olwaleero. Happy New Year, Rogers.
Happy New Year, Lillian. It is a great honor again to be here. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Rogers Turiabwe, and I think this is my first appearance since.
They are bigger.
No, I was here on Monday. Yes, I was here on Monday. But it's good to be here again. It's an opportunity every time I come here to also talk about a number of things from my own perspective. Mbadde nga njogera mabega nti ebintu byenjogera nze ng'omuntu bisinziira kutegeera kwange siri expert mu kintu ekimu nti ogamba nti kyenjogera kyekyo it's a gospel truth. No, it's according to my opinion and my perspective. So you can either associate with my opinion or you can have a differing opinion, and then we can find which one is, you know, relatively working. But it's good to have you today, and the quote I think is in order. We cannot prepare the youth. We cannot prepare the future for the youth, right? But we can prepare the youth for the future.
Yeah.
That is where we're going to begin. Now, we have a gentleman who's going to introduce himself. I'm going to give him an opportunity to introduce himself. And the first question is going to be, how are you preparing our youth? Please.
Yes, good morning, viewers of the Alternative Digitalk. Sadat Maseruka is my name. It's been quite a while since I last appeared here, but I'm happy that today I've been given the opportunity to come and say something to fellow young people, and also to wish you a happy new year. And we look forward to moving as a community to grow one another.
Okay.
Yes, the quote is timely, especially during this time when people are making resolutions for the year.
Exactly.
People are reflecting on how they have performed personal assessments for the previous year. Well, it is true that preparing for a future for the youth may be quite hard because you don't know what the interest of an individual. But preparing an individual or a youth for the future is to keep them for whatever they may want to venture in. So that brings me to the question you asked. Yes, that we have focused mostly as the Alliance for National Transformation to change the mindset of people. That is the preparation we are doing them, that they should prepare themselves for either way a regime that is not one they have been born into. And that will happen at any time, but the issue is how will they conduct themselves when ultimately there has been change. They may either want to behave as those that they have replaced, or they may be try to set up a new chapter. So we are preparing that the mindset of people know that there is an inevitable force that is called change, and it will happen. But it will happen. You see yourself amongst those people that have changed, or you'll be among those that will be wishing for more of the same. So in that regard, we are preparing the individuals for the future that is ahead, not creating an amorphous, because you will ask, people will ask, what is this change? Change is not only in the change of environment, or the change of leadership, or change of systems. Also the change of way things are being done by the individuals themselves. So if you are saying that we are preparing the future by saying that, okay, let we change the leadership we are having at the moment, we may not have prepared the people to take on the leadership. So they will not have, they themselves will not have changed. So mindset is key to change.
Okay. So we as the youth, are we ready to take on leadership in case we are given an opportunity?
There is no opportunity. I told you at a very young age I was in the Wakiso District Council. Nobody gave me the opportunity to be there. I woke up one day, organized myself and others that believed in me, especially people of my age. We started moving in the villages, and we won the election. So it does not mean that they must give you the opportunity, because the people we think that should give us opportunities are also still looking for opportunities. So if somebody that is also still in need, you expect that person to sacrifice for you, it is also quite far-fetched. But also we should understand that are we ourselves putting ourselves in positions to actually handle some of the light opportunities that have been given to us.
Sorry to cut you short. In the previous elections, a lot of youths were talking about this, and then they're like, we have not been given opportunity. We've not been given opportunity to prove to these people that we can also do this, we can also do that, we can also do that.
You see, it is quite interesting I was once discussing with a man that wanted to make a will on who of his children should take over. But the assessment as a layman he used was where amongst his children who was self-motivated to do things on behalf of the family. He did not give anybody the responsibility to organize a family gathering. He did not give anybody the opportunity to call others for meetings that are all issues regarding the family. But there are those, or there is somebody that he was seeing that even in his absence, he will be able to take on what he has been doing because he has seen, without any form of supervision, this somebody has been conducting himself as such. So it does not mean that we should be given an opportunity or space to exhibit your talents. Perform as you are expected to perform if you are to be given the opportunity.
In other words, it should be self-initiative.
Yes, it will be a self-initiative that whatever you are doing you must be as a result of self-motivation to trigger people to say that even if I do not appear on this talk show, somebody will appear, a young person will appear, and I will be equally represented, and I will not have a regret. But it will be as a result of your self-motivation, because somebody may give you an opportunity and they may end up being disappointed. But a self-motivation also gives confidence to one who wants to hand over to you.
That they know what they are living is in good hands.
Yes, even in their absentia, something will be done. So this issue of saying you are not giving us the opportunity to do this, it is okay. Also, people should leave.
I mean, it's have been lamenting.
Of course, we have been lamenting, but also we are looking at it in a reverse form. We are lamenting, but what are we doing in ourselves that mirrors or reflects what we want to be? To show the others that the things that you still think that you can do, we are actually doing them better. You look at what we call the Industrial Revolution, the technological revolution. It is dominated by young people.
Yeah, mostly.
So you mean that those young people first asked for the opportunity from their elders to start making phones, making apps and the likes?
I think the truth generally is power can never be given. It is always taken.
Yes.
And taking it takes self-initiative. But now, we are going now to come back to you as individuals and the party as you as the Alliance for National Transformation. You lay a very good foundation. I equally believe people power cannot be given. The truth is, we always say, we want power, we have been sidelined, we have been this and that, and it is true. Largely, it is true. Except for the fact that it can never be handed over to us. We must, work towards it, and then at least it will compel the others to give us space. Yeah. But now, as you as a party, and now we are literally in the youth talk generally, and then we want to look at how things have been and how they must be, and how we're working towards making them be whatever we want it to be. What have you been doing? Because now you're not also going to just give youth things. You want to prepare them. How are you preparing them?
One of the opportunities that people have been lacking, especially in political parties, is the space to perform or be given lighter duties. We have been organizing what we call grassroots structure building mechanisms. And in this regard, we have moved to Eastern Uganda, specifically Serera and Soroti. We've been in Gulu, we've been in Arua, and in Kayunga. All these initiatives have been spearheaded by the youth, only to invite the senior politicians to come and address already the mobilized sections of the population by the young people. So in this, we are giving people the organizational capacity, the capability to organize themselves to do good to society, so that if they invite an individual or an elder, we will feel comfortable that the people that have been invited to speak to the person that invited them is actually trusted in their community. Because, for instance, if you are not a person of good repute and you are given the task of mobilizing a community of your own community amongst even your friends, you may even fail to call 10 of them to come and attend a meeting. Yes, but if a young person is given a task to mobilize the community, the elders, so that they come and attend a party gathering, and they actually turn up, it's a symbol that this young person is exemplary, this young person has the organizational capabilities, and this person has the trust of those people that he has been able to.
And therefore you can influence them.
Yes. So we are trying to sell the young people to the communities. We are trying to give them a touch and a belonging amongst their people. Also to show the people that these young people that you are with can actually do better by just giving them by giving them limited supervision. If they are able to invite you and you honor the invitation to come and listen to a party message in an entire sub-county or in an entire district, but you are mobilized by the youth in that district, and though it will be addressed majorly by the senior party officials, but the critical roles are played by the young people. It gives them confidence, it gives them assurance, and also gives them a touch and belonging to their party and to their areas.
Okay, so how has this experience been working with the youth?
Working with the youth, it's a challenge. It's a challenge. Why? I'm not speaking on the NT side. I'm speaking of youth in general. Yes, working with youth is a challenge. There are a section of young people that actually believe that everything must be laid on a carpet, and there are also a section of young people that believe that their biology outweighs their reasoning. So they must actually exhibit whatever they feel or believe physically, rather than approach it intellectually. So there is also trying to mitigate the different approaches of young people towards challenges is the most challenging thing that you face with dealing with young people. There are those that whatever they believe must change, they want to change it by all means, not thinking of the repercussions towards their lives and towards the people they feel that they are trying to fight for. There are those that believe that they will sit somewhere and things will be laid for them to just come and inherit or take over. So that takes me back that what we are saying, that we realized in the formation of ANT that there is need for a mindset change. You want to have an impact in your community, but you are the most violent young person who cannot even tolerate any simple form of criticism.
Yeah.
You're a young person that actually believes that the old guard should have left yesterday, but you are not apart from sitting somewhere and lamenting about it, you are not doing nothing to change even with yourself, your family, and the people that are in your immediate vicinity. You cannot yearn for something that is far greater when you cannot even manage the simple responsibilities that you are accorded with. And if some such things are brought to the realization of some young people, they may feel that it is time consuming, it is inconveniencing, because they believe that as a matter of yesterday, something must have been done. And you ask,
but they don't analyze who should have done it.
The question is, they don't see themselves as the people that must have done something.
Yes.
So it's a challenge. It's a challenge, but we engage, and we try as much as possible to tell them that we are all young. We all have almost same energies, but what distinguishes us from others is that you apply some bit of reason and also to empathy, to understand that the person that I want to replace, the person that I want to take into retirement, for instance, you want to be an MP of an area, but the person you want to take into retirement to be a former MP also has needs.
Yeah.
So the way you approach that person, or the way you try to make sure that that person is taken into retirement, cannot be through violence, cannot be through insults, because you may find that this person was also willing to relinquish the position, but they did not see a person aggressive enough to make them change their mind not to contest. But you come with a lot of force that equally makes them to be resistant. And in any event, you prolong the stay of somebody.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if it would have been easier to find mechanisms of retiring people.
You know, that is quite easier to talk about, but quite hard to actually implement.
To talk about.
I know very few Ugandans who would say, I am going to give you space and step aside so you take over because you could have some new approach.
I know of individuals that had all along wanted to retire.
And they had not retired because...
And they did not retire because when they realized that the only person that is going to replace him promised that they will make sure they will not even return to the constituents after having lost, they said, let me stay and I secure my stay in my constituency.
Of late, we are doing politics of insults. I mean,
Yes.
someone wants to take up a certain position, but then they have to insult the person who has been in that position of late. And that is a lot in youths. So how do we handle that?
It has been engineered by most of the people that we call our mentors. They may not do it directly, but there's a way they influence the behavior or characters of some of the people that follow them. The issue is when a young person is insulting somebody, he's not insulting that person on their behalf. They are doing it on behalf of somebody else. Because they want to show the support and love for an individual, they tend to insult the opposite party. To show that I am...
Allegiance and loyalty.
Yes, I'm showing so much loyalty and allegiance to this individual. That's why I put the blame on whom they feel that they are supporting or they are mentors. Because it is, what does it take to know that, yes, I need your support. But I do not send you to insult somebody to make a point. Because the moment you condone, the moment you keep silent to such behavior, it's as if you are saying that the more people insult on your behalf, the more they show that they are loyal to you. So in that regard, you'll find that people will abuse, they will insult and attack others on behalf of people that are friends. And they will get disappointed to find that the people, there are two camps, the one of Lydia and the one of Rogers, they have been insulting. The youth of different camps have been totally opposed. Yet Lydian and Rogers are very good friends, despite the political differences they are having. But Rogers and Lydian can't tell their supporters that, yes, support me, but do not insult people that I'm opposed to. And also they enjoy that cloud. So the young people, in most cases, they are misguided. And you'll find that in most cases, that's what we ask ourselves, that if you're a young person and you've been insulting, you've been abusing, you've been using a lot of vulgar words against the opponents of the opposing camp, when they are going for negotiations to cease fire, do they take you?
Of course they can't.
They don't.
You're the engineer of the fire.
Why? Why?
Because you're not a necessary resource in that regard.
No, because you are a spent force that has degenerated yourself to that level. So in that regard, you ask yourself, but wouldn't you want to be part of the negotiations, to look the person into the eye and say that I've not been liking you because of ABCD? You'll find that they have no reason as to why they insult people. Only that they want to prove to their masters that I am so loyal.
Now, as Sadat, leaving around the loyalty and allegiance that is in our politics, you are in the grassroots, you mentioned.
Yes.
You did those organizing in those local communities around the country. And I feel like when you go down to the ground, there's some touch, you get a feel of what the people are feeling and what the people are actually going through. What would you say in the long run, like generally, has been the hindrance of the progress that you are advocating for? What did you find out? What were the findings?
One, the issue that we should probably first of all understand is that the level of appreciation of politics and its ideologies is wanting in this Republic of Uganda. Two, the economic situation that people are being subjected to has forced many to abandon their civil and political rights, to concentrate on things that can at least make them survive. So whomever is interested in having discussions or making themselves politically conscious, they will only have time for that if they believe that they are guaranteed for lunch or supper the following day. So one of the challenges that we are facing is that the resources to mobilize at a very fast rate are limited. Now, going into a population that is economically deprived, who expect that when they say politician, as a result of commercialization of politics, must have a token they leave to them. Secondly, you have a population that has resigned to fate, believing that for the last so many years they have been participating in elections, but only to change face, especially in their local communities. But there is nothing tangible that has been changed, that has been done. So they tend to misinterpret that even that is a blessing. That if you have the opportunity to change an LC3 councillor, an LC5 chairperson, or an MP, at least there is a change in one, people gaining experience in leadership, having different people and approaches towards changing the communities. But because of the societal breakdown and institutional breakdown, these people are not in position to perform across the board. Now you'll find the society has resigned to, we are not interested in anything that is political. They will only give time to politics when, as a result of, as a way of attending to unserious matters. I'm going to say this: the way I prepare myself to go to watch my favorite club, Liverpool, is not the way I should prepare myself to go to vote, because I will. But now, people take such serious matters as a joke. Somebody will come and say, "Today, whom are we voting?" And the entire committee will resolve that we are voting ABCD. No reason.
We are with absolutely no consideration.
No reason, no consideration, and no. They have not even interfaced with this individual, and they will be very happy that for us we made sure that we vote anyhow. To who's to annoy who? That's the first question. Ask yourself. So if you voted an MP you have never seen, an MP that I have never stepped in, an MP whom you don't know where he stays, who loses? Is it me whom we wanted to annoy?
Why you're the one who are losing?
So the level of political consciousness is lacking, and this has been brought about by the frustrations. There is a social breakdown in the economic situation of the people, especially in the villages, and so it is evident on the faces, it is evident in the communities, and also they tell you that instead of wasting my 3 or 4 hours discussing on how to make my country better, let me first look for how I will survive the following day.
And in the breakdown of this, in the midst of this whole breakdown, you have realized that mostly the people's civil and political rights have been left aside because there are some other shortcomings, because of the economy apparently and the money they have proven that is in politics. So someone, even to vote, even if they come to your wedding, you must have contributed something first for you to be there. In that space, with the monetization of politics, of course, how do you think you can get out of that? And what was your message to make sure that these people actually realize that, look, it is important for you to have the money in your pocket, but it is not also a political right or a political issue for you to be paid to get to vote for someone else?
Our message is and has always been that the decisions of whatever an individual wants to be or want to have in their society lies upon them. Yes, if you believe that you as an individual you are worth 5,000 Uganda shillings for the 5 years, it's okay. You take the 5,000, give out your vote, and for the 5 years, enjoy that 5,000 if you believe that you are worth it. And some people take it as an insult, but you ask yourself, why is somebody so desperate to serve me, or actually pays me to give me service? If you actually want to come and put boreholes in my community, help to uplift talents, the youth who are footballers, who are singers, who want to help ladies, women that are in the markets, but at the end of the day also equally want to give me money so that I can vote for you. Are you giving me service, or you are expecting you are investing in something that you are going to recoup money from? So the commercialization of politics has brought us to sad realities, and it has made people lose what we call the self-worth. And we are always trying to tell the people that there is no amount of money that is worth your vote for the 5 years. Whatever you do, whomever pays you to serve you, that is one of the meetings that we are in. I gave an example of these telephone conmen. Yes, where one called and told the lady that you have won, but so that to secure that you have won, please send such an amount on my phone. So this one is saying, "Nay, I have won."
But you want money?
No, you want me money. Can't you deduct it from the one that I have won, so that you give me the balance? So in that regard, I was trying to say that yes, this economy. Somebody says that I want to serve you, but please take this money and allow me serve you. Surely you will accept that whatever you are giving him or whatever you are receiving from me is actually less than what he wants to get from you. In that regard, some pick the message, but again, the realities of society are from the social engineering of society. If one reads books that a poor person, their level of decision making is limited. Wherever they are challenged by economic realities in their homesteads, they will make a decision that is not in their favor. So in most cases, all we have to do is to tell them to keep on engaging them, but to think of mechanisms, of ways of changing the economic lives of the young people in this country. Okay. Yes.
Let's talk about elections. We've had people say that, oh, we are losing it whenever we come to elections. People are losing the morale. They're losing that love of going to vote for their leaders. What was your message to these people, especially the quality of leaders they need to vote, and then the elections themselves? Because we've had some people preach about elections, and then they're like, elections can't do anything in this country. So what was your message when you're doing these programs?
Our message is simple, that you should organize yourselves and mobilize yourselves, elections or no elections. Because to change a society, it is a combination of very many factors. Well, elections may not, in a short run, create change, as we have tried and seen. But that does not mean that we have not made significant strides in changing, in achieving change through elections. Also, whoever believes that elections cannot create significant change, they should come up with that other alternative that can create change, but not to discourage those that are moving towards elections, because the man was not engineered like a robot. Whereas I may be going to Kampala, I may use a taxi, another one may use a bus, another one may use a boda, but the destination is the same. So I cannot start discouraging those that are doing what I'm not doing. I will only have to say that means that I'm using safely deliver me where I'm going. And also pray that also the other individual, the means they are using, also enable them to reach their destination. So the conflicting messages try to sometimes demoralize the people. Also, the level and quality of leaders that have sprung up into leadership is also questionable. It has been a while that I've found that it is in Uganda where leaders have propelled without having what we call a resume or a curriculum vitae. Somebody cannot explain how they achieved or how they are where they are. In most cases, people are telling us, write a CV to explain your journey, to explain yourself. But here is the design MP. Yeah, for me, I'm an MP. What is? Give me your CV.
And Kati, they look at this person.
Yes.
Well, Omonto Navade in Parliament. Let me use some little bit of Uganda.
Yes.
This person has been in Parliament, or Baba in Parliament, or Kumala, together with Sanjanga Bibi. Or Naina experience. Kati gojabuze chintu chiyingiramu buyingizi. Message jobulira eyinza okuba kalinga nnungi naye nga oli atunya n'agamba nti ono takinaamu bumanyirivu. Yes, nti ne bwe tunaamutumayo ayinza obutatuteeseza bulungi ng'ono akiruddemu because this person akiruddemu alina experience.
Okay, kakati nze kyengezaako okugamba si kyekyo. Kyengezaako okugamba nti abantu tebakyawa value what you call career growth, professional growth, or experience. Why? I wake up from my home. I've never even chaired a village meeting. I go and apply to be the MP. And people will vote me because I can shout. I am good at dancing on top of vehicles and the likes.
Nsobola n'okuvuma opponent.
Yes, no kasuka jabs the opponent wange. Kakati, the question is, how did you reach here? Because we're meeting an intelligent person. That is the role of a CV. That's the role of a resume. That when nali mu myaka bwegiti, nali nkola wano. Naliko kansala. Naliko erosi wano chairman. Naliko kino nga olaga leadership traits. Kakati propelliza abantu tubakasuka mu the topest house. Nga bagenda kuyiga buyizi kyalina okukola nga kansala. Ate ne tumale tuyomba nti tebatuyambye, tebana kye batukoledde, kubanga ne gwosindise akyayiga, and rightfully must learn. Ajja kusooka ayiga how to proceed, ayiga how to propose, and also how to bring an alternative statement.
That's about 10 years of service.
Katate wanaba yakafuna experience eyo ate musindikayo omulala omuto. Ate nga omulese naye nga ali fresh nnyo. Era example gyajja okuwaga gundi mwamu wanga talina kyali.
Anti ba parliament baali basaba emyaka gyabwe gye bamalayo gyongezebwa okuva ku 5.
Solution si ekyo, raising the bar. Nti banna njagala kubeera kino mu community. Naye what is kubanga tugende ku bintu ebiri simple. Ku simu yo kuliko mokash. Sejo osobola okwewulako sente kato saving ngako. Kakati osobola ogenda mu banka no having nga tolina ya account kato saving ngayoko. Kati kikyuso kize mu leadership tokulira nko kyalo tokulira ngako muluka tolina leadership trait yonna neno okera ku macha onyumire suuti omanyo
kakati olina mikwano gyo wano abakuzaamu amaanyi ne bakugamba nti osobola ebigambo byozo otugamba wano kale otuzaamu amaanyi otuzaamu essuubi tukkiriza n'eri osobola okikola ki osobola okukikuba era nawe ne bakuzaamu amaanyi n'ogaka ngende efuuke emu.
Anti kati oli bwakugambira nti oyo omuntu watu bw'ayingira house mu emyaka gye 10 asooka ayige ate bw'amala okuyiga mukuume
nga ne tumugambyeko kugina emyaka 10
kubanga wamusindikayo nga talina kyamanyi ate wasajjuka nnyo nga gw'oyagala agende n'olwekyo gumira time eyo ayiga ekyokukola ajja kuwuliriza bulungi. That is why by the way most of the people that are in parliament abanga atandika okuba asenvula abeko kyatandika okukola ng'ataddayo mu kalulu yakayiga nti bannaye, this is how I approach the speaker nefuna funding to my community. Aba yakateekamu proposal y'oluguudo nga bamugamba enkya wali yakalulu emyaka 5 giweddeko. Kakati ngaddamu abaga bannaye mbadde nkoze bwenti ne bwenti ntandika butandisi muka n'emyaka 5 oba ninga abadde ayiga. It is a learning experience. Everywhere you learn. Bw'aba mumuwadde ekyokubiri aba yakatandika okulobinga alobinze bitandise okujja nga mugamba ate oluddeyo nnyo ngagamba ate mbadde nina kira kyenzudde nti bannanga abala kye bakola ki. So in most cases this level of exposure and experience matters in leadership, and the moment we recycle leaders in that fashion, because the moment we get there we have to learn, and people we send there in most cases are green.
Sadat, let me ask you a little bit, especially that regard. Now, is that a problem of the electorate?
It is two way. Ekisooka kiri eri abalonzi, because the ultimate decision is by them. Era be beneficiaries. Era bwe basalawo nga bakugamba that omukulembeze alondebwa eddoboozi lya Katonda. Yes, the voice of the people is the voice of God, Vox Populi. So Vox Dei. So if the people have decided, that is the voice of God. So if the people in themselves are the reflection of the decision of God, you cannot question that. They have chosen amongst their fellows. Oyo gwe basazeewo. Simple, gwe baagala. Kakati balina okugumira consequences ezo. N'ekirala, I cannot blame so much omuntu azze n'abasaba akalulu, because yaze n'agamba naye nze ndaba nkisobola, you evaluate me. Mune mugamba tetugenda ku evaluatinga, tetuna kye tukwagalako ne twagala kulabanga nga gwe hunalimo. Bajja kikuwa.
Gwe lwaki obeera ojja ng'okimanyi tolina experience tomanyi
Rogers, man is selfish by nature. And you cannot take that away. Man will tell you, I can lift a building. If you believe in them, they will call you. Yes. And it will be you to evaluate, but that this small body have the capacity to lift a building. But if you believe that this small body can lift a building, it is the consequences squarely lie upon you.
But don't you think it's tulina kulenya electoral commission, because guno mulimu gwayo okusomesa abalonzi ku bantu be balina okulonda biki balina okugoberera nga tebanalonda.
Kituufu.
Naye bwe babeera nga tebabanguddwa oli n'agenda bugenzi because ayagala munnaayitemu n'agenda n'akikola. So don't you think blame tulina kishifting ate kati ne tugissaako electoral commission?
Electoral commission,
no parties.
Ne political
parties
yes.
themselves. Not having a standard.
Yes.
Everyone at Jack Astabanga, they can make a noise, you give them a party card and they stand.
True, but that is with the exception of the ANT. Now, wetuba tuteka blame ku electoral commission. Tuteka blame esookera ddala eddayo ku parliament o electoral commission amaki amateeka genda okutambuliramu. Electoral commission era be bagiwa budget eya civic awareness and building civic competence of the population. Kakati olina MP eyajjira mu situation ng'eyo, yamanya weaknesses ze, yamanya tasobola, naye olw'okuba nti yalina section of the population gy'asobola okukonvinsinga n'emuleeta mu parliament, kakati omugamba ate tudde tusomesa abantu omukulembeze gwe bandibadde naye alina kubeera atya, nga ye kennyini aziyisa bwati ssente oba ayisa budget oba ayisa propose eyo akimanyi tafitinga mu qualifications ezo, definitely tekijja kuyita. They will make sure that the budget is limited. They will make sure that there is no enforceability of such laws. So, the apex house that is charged with making the critical decisions, because in any event, Ojakulaba World debate yaliwo some time back that they should raise the bar of why an MP should be at least having a bachelor's degree. You found that 3/4 of the house was shouting no, and they were genuine. Some had equivalent from senior 4, they got an equivalent of senior 6. Now that is the second term. They are struggling now to get a bachelor's degree. Now we are telling them, what if I don't achieve it within these years? So the issue, the mess we are in, we created it. kati ate otwaji creating abetukwasiza opportunity bejjeko omulimu babitereze obanga abajjako omulimu. So ebintu ebimu bajja bishootinga because of their selfishness and because they want to keep themselves in the positions they are in because they know how they attain those positions.
And so how do we get out of this mess? Because now we have an electoral commission that does not, because, well, it does not work because, like you said, probably there are no policies to that effect. You have an MP who will be affected by the policy that you're suggesting that they should make. So how do we get out of this mess and altogether?
It goes back to the ultimate bosses, who are the electorate. What kind of society would you like to have? What kind of person that would you like to be? Your area MP, your area LC5 chairperson, your area mayor, or your area councillor? If you make a self-reflection on who you would like to lead you, you'll start making the right decisions amongst the available choices. It has never happened in any election. Techibanga omukalu konna niwabeerawo ba candidates nga temuli ali competent. But in most cases, the most competent candidate is not the most popular candidate.
Or the most rich candidate, at least.
Maybe.
So resources are...
Also, it may not be the most rich candidate. Now, people will dance to the tunes of who has more money. They will dance to the tunes of who is more vulgar and who is more aggressive. And they tend to forget that where they are sending individuals, it is not a fighting context. It's not an exchange, a place of exchange of insults. Nebamani wakugamba that era gwetwalonda ye yaliwo ffe tetwalina choice endala n'omugirayo ballot paper nga kwaliko abantu mukaaga nonga ku mukaaga muno really
no
yali asinga naga agundi yali amusinga naye yali talina maanyi kati so it goes back to the society. Bo webalowooza nti ono the day they will wake up to say that this is what we deserve, they will actually get it. But the more we believe that we are influenced by tokens, we are influenced by waves, we are influenced by peer pressure, we shall make decisions that will always continue to be a cycle of conflict, a cycle of regret, and we shall not reach what we are destined to reach.
Sadat, still konsonga yemu. Tulabyeko abantu mu constituencies oba mu bitundu ebyenjawulo nga bagamba nti we voted for this person naye okuva lwe twamuteekayo ne mu constituency taddanga kati ne bamulinda nadda mu kalulu akaddako bw'akoma naga guno gwe mukisa gwe tufunye bw'ala tuwa ssente tetumulonda n'abawa ssente ne bamuzaayo mu parliament nga bo kye bawa ensonga gye boogerako nti kale waakiri katumufunemu wano because tukimanyi ne bwe tunaamuteekayo tagenda kudda mu constituency.
Nati kakati you ask them nti omulimu gwo MP mulimu ki? In most cases abantu aba complaining nti tumulabyeko baba baina selfish interest nti njagala nsisinkane Honorable Lilian so that nsobola okumufunamu a 50,000 naye nga akugamba I've been spending on these following programs in their community nga manyi nti community eyo nefuniramu ki awamu naye abamu bagala baina personal issues zibaba bagala asolvinge kati ne baga nti tetumulabanga okuva lwe twamulonda naye services zibadde zituuka
mu parliament time yanko ku flow kuwaayo ensonga yonna
ekyo
ali mu Kampala muno constituency ye ya country
waliyo aba businessmen nga yaspendinga sente ze nyingi nga yabawa nga transaction mwaji holdinga before the elections towards the elections ne muji concretizing on the election day yabawa sente ze mwaka lu transaction ne kumao era nga embate mubanja era nga amanyi ekimukomyawo ku kyalo nga waliwo yabeera ku kyalo n'abasaba akalu n'aziika nammwe n'abeerawo mu mbeera yonna olwokuba teyalina ssente temwakola ki timwamwa kati ajja kusigala e Kampala wano azinoonye azicollecting bulungi akomewo era azibawe because yategedde formula yammwe nti kimwagala ki timwagala kugenda kubatesiza mu parliament mwagala ki n'abalala bamu bakyayiga abamu even to add agenda for a studio show ng'afuuse MP kati really how will they get time? They need a lot of time to learn. So ebintu ebisinga tulina okukkiriza nti the electorates share the blame of the predicament they are facing.
I think they take the biggest blame actually.
Yes, you have the opportunities.
But then however much we blame them, because we have a big number of people abatamanyi mubaka wa parliament chichayina kola yasuubira omubaka ajja kutuziikirako ajja kubeerawo mu mikolo gyaffe egy'embaga ninga ebisiga ebirala tabimanyi nti omubaka alina okumuteeseza alina okumulobingira n'ebirala ebyenjawulo byonna tewali ku nsi kuno yazaalibwa nga amanyi. It's an initiative okuvaayo okuyiga n'ofaayo n'ogezaako okumanya ki kyengendamu. Bemupya abasinga bayingira mu politics nga bali werofu galinawo kasente ke abalunzi n'abaspendingako ni bamuwa akalulu. Kakati at the time yandibadde agezaako okulikuupinga sente zeyateekamu lwe bamwagala abeere mu constituency, definitely tajja kubeerayo kuba ne bwanaabeerayo alina okusigala nga alina needs ez'aba alonzi za meeting. N'ekirala omuntu yenna akalwelinga contract, I'm voting you to go and do ABCD. Contract eyo bakomyewo kugirenewinga obuuza wakola ABCD. Kati here comes the fact that somebody aga kasita fe ajja n'atugulira omwenge tetwagala kumanya biddako. Fe kasita ajja n'atuwa zino tetwagala kudda kumanya biddako. Temwina kimutumye. Taina obligation kujja kubannyonnyola nti bannaye mwaŋŋamba ngende nteese ku nsonga bweti ne bweti nagiteesaako oba neefuuka etteeka. Never. Era most of the MPs that actually debate in parliament, they do it on their personal initiatives. It is not as a result of the electorate. They never sent them to do anything. Wetamugamba ko nti twagala basaries genda otwese bongeze ku funding ya UP imasomero gaffe. No. Bajja kumugamba ffe wano tulina omupiira tugulire ente, ffe wano tukolere kino era bw'amaliriza ebyo kati ate kyekirala nothing more. Kakati era bw'anaakomawo ng'abagamba beegindi abo otagenda na mbuzi yaabwe tojja kubawuliriza, tebajja kuwuliriza era ng'ajja nayo.
Sadat katoka tumbulemu katono tukomeo tumalizayo kumboze. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being a part of the show. We are going to go in for a very short commercial break. When we come back, we want to look at the ANT that he represents, mostly on the youth side, because today we wanted also to look at the youth and what we are supposed to be contributing. We cannot always always be at the receiving end. We must take initiative. So we want to know what are they doing in the youth wing, when does it meet, if it does at all, what are the benefits of someone belonging to that one, and what is the party's plan and program for young people. Because we must know that if we are going to give you presidency because you're government in waiting, we must know how are you also lobbying for us as young people. Well, you may not give us everything like we said, but what are the measures you're putting in place to make sure that at least our efforts are landing on a soft ground and we can spring from there. Let's go in for a very short commercial break. We'll come back and continue the show.
The Alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.
Fellow citizens, following the sequence of events, Uganda seems to be at political crossroads.
I'm not a servant of anybody.
Madam, I know the law.
As such, Alternative Digitalk brings you the Interface Show with retired Colonel Dr. Kiza Besuje.
Let's keep on the same page on Alternative Digitalk,
As he gives you the alternatives on the transition question, rule of law, human rights and freedom, youth inclusion in governance, economic stagnation, as he confirms.
I'll be always here Saturday from 10 a.m. in the morning. Be there.
Don't miss the live discussion on the Alternative Uganda, Digitalk TV Facebook pages, and the Alternative Uganda YouTube channel.
Hello, beautiful people. You're welcome to the Snap Talk with your girl Teddy Tenjo every Saturday, right from 6 to 7.
Naku zino twajjirwa flat tummy. Tukyayambalako ku ngoye obutukwata.
Wajja n'akubody shaming. Speak up. Genda oba confronting. Obagambe ekyo kye mukola si kirungi.
Towerabira nti tuli wano ku the Alternative Digitalk. Mukwano gwange gwali topic kiri wandyagadde twogereko. Is it about family?
Era nze tata wange amanyi era nkola n'obuvunaanyizibwa nyina bungi. Era agezaako n'anyamba-yambako yanda.
Naye kumukubira kumubuuzaako. Nogamba mama we bali kunzaala.
Is it outside family? Is it society? Oh, could it be relationships?
Come and visit, call me. Simanyanga I miss you bichi. Especially embeera y'obudde si nnungi.
Naye n'omuntu akwagalira mu season aba takwagala ze nkubuulira.
Just be commenting nga topic yonna gyandyagadde twogereko tujjako tujogera ku wano ku the Alternative Digitalk ku share enganzi the Snap Talk.
The Alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.
Welcome back from that short commercial break, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you yet again for being at the Alternative Digitalk and keeping it alternative. We try to do a little bit of our job also to make sure that you're informed and know what is going in and around you, but also to bring to you insightful discussions that will open your eyes on particular issues. For example, they did mention it is not actually a job description of an MP to build your road. No, theirs is to go to Parliament, make roads, represent you, try to lobby, maybe that is a number of things, but some they are not supposed to come to your parties or even barriers. It's not their job description. They will do as individuals or as your friends or family relatives and all that, but not because they are MPs. That's not part of it. So some of those things are what we do here to make sure that you understand what your leaders are supposed to be doing for you as opposed to what you all have come to believe as their job description. Now, we did conclude on some issue of electorates and their elects, I think, if I should put it that way. We wanted to look a little bit at the ANT. I want first to get your insight on how was the highlight of you as ANT for the 2022?
The highlight of the year 2022 has been marred with some challenges. We had previously had an election year, 2021. So mostly 2022 we are trying to reorganize ourselves, to understand where we went wrong as a party, and to also bring back our members that we are disappointed in the elections, and see how we can now forge a way forward and prepare for the next elections. Well, amidst the constraints and challenge of provided in the law of organizing assemblies and rallies by political parties, especially outside campaign times, has really hindered the movement and growth of political parties, ANT inclusive. And we have tried to maneuver through doing grassroots mobilizations, and in the previous year we have tried to have a youth-led initiative of mobilizing the communities. But all in all, the most important of the things that we cherish as a party so far is that despite having passed through a very turbulent elections, we have kept our membership. We can only build on that. Despite the fact that most of them did not succeed in the elections, but at least we have retained and maintained them. So moving forward, we are seeing that if we build on the numbers that we have so far gotten, we can have a sizable impact 2023 going beyond. We are moving in seeing that at least we hold the first delegates conference of the party after having moved or built structures all across the country. So the major focus this year is to make sure that we have real grassroots elections that will culminate into growing of structures from the village to the sub-county, to the county, to the constituency, to the district, and to the national, which that will later inform what we call the delegates conference. We would like to have a political party when somebody says that I'm the representative of NT from Adjumani, and you actually see a person from Adjumani. I'm a representative from Masaka, you actually see a person from Masaka, other than creating a farce that the political party is in the people, yet it is not there. So the most important is not to lie to ourselves, is that we go to the communities, mobilize them, pick a sizable number of people that believe in the approach we are taking, and we build a formidable structure that can propel us into the presidency.
And is that the plan for 2023 now?
The plan for 2023 is to participate in all existing political activities as they are, and we are very hopeful that we are going to start with the by-elections that are so far surfaced in Eastern Uganda. There is one that is upcoming in Serere, and the election will take place on the 23rd of February. We are going to fully engage and participate in that election as the ANT, and we are rooting for victory. At least so that when I come here, you no longer ask me, you people of all political parties who have no MP. So we are going to remedy that this very year, and at least we shall have 2 or 3 representatives in that house. Yes, we are also looking at reorganizing our membership and structures, especially in West Nile. Unfortunately, though it is not, yes, it's unfortunate that it's not been given coverage. The most area where ANT has a huge support base, which is in the West Nile. If we follow the statistics, you will find that in districts like Terego, we won all the positions apart from the MP, including the LC5 chairperson.
Why did you not win MP?
That is a question that we are also asking ourselves, but we find that we have councillors, we have the sub-counties, we have the LC5 chairperson.
So did you try to put the parameter on why you have more support in that region and not the others?
The issue is also followed by Bugwe. Bugwe, we have 2 sub-counties. But the issue was that before we went into a lockdown, we had fully done grassroots mobilization in those 2 areas. We had covered every village in Bugwe. We had been there. We had been to every sub-county in Terego by the time we went for the lockdown. So we are trying to make sure that we intensify these grassroots activities, yes, to make sure that in the upcoming by-elections we at least secure 2 or 3 MPs.
Don't you think in Tamani gemoteka mu up-country regions na mwina n'okugassa ko wano mu central so that abantu beyongere okubategeera nga Alliance for National Transformation?
Okututegeera mu central ina dynamics nyingi. Central is a combination eya buli muntu. Ate okwa-approachinga central olina okujja approachinga in a different fashion. Wetugamba nti because tugenda kujja mu Kampala Central okole grassroots mobilization because leero opangisa Makindye enkya oli Ntinda. So approach ya Central, or let me say Kampala in particular, it's quite different.
But then
abantu
okwesimbawo mu bitundu bya Kampala ebinjawulo.
Yes, amaanyi tugatadde nnyo mu byalo because tukimanyi nti opposition often succeeds in urban areas. Now, what is our contribution to the opposition force? Bringing also the villages on board. Other than coming to compete for the few positions in urban areas where people are already politically conscious, that we awaken those in the villages. Yes, we have a plan on coming to be known in urban areas, but to avoid conflicts or to avoid or to overdo something that has already been done, we should have a force that we are bringing or adding onto the entire opposition bulk. But we have an elaborate plan, but again, even if it is in Central, we shall start in areas like Mitiana, we shall start in areas like Nakasongola, so we shall come to urban areas that actually bring that excitement later. Yes.
And I wanted to have a follow-up on that question actually, on why you're not putting so much force in the Central region. We have seen a lot, you are in the opposition. We have seen a lot of activities spearheaded by the opposition parties, and we have rarely, on several occasions, seen the representation of the ANT in most of those area things. Do you think that can be attributed to why you do not have so much presence in the Central region?
Which activities?
Most of them. We had, there was a meeting at Africana.
Yes,
that
was in August.
Where we had almost all the opposition parties except the NT.
Prayers
we recently had, about a week or two ago, we had prayers with almost most of the other opposition leaders, except the NT again. And
still the mobile elections ezali mu bitundu by'eggwanga ebyenjawulo opposition we yasalawo okwegatta.
And it was very rare in that regard. What do you think that is an issue to think about as a party?
It is an issue to think about, but we should break down these events one by one. Yes, the issue of signing a memorandum of working together,
especially during
in August.
In
August, that was in Africana, where we were invited, but we did not have time to sit as a party to look through what we are committing ourselves to. Secondly, we have or believe that our approach towards politics is different. And whoever wants us to participate in a different way, not in our way.
What is your way?
We believe that to have a society of warring factors, dialogue is key.
Except you don't come to those dialogues.
We believe that any form of that wasn't a dialogue. It was a meeting to organize activities that will see. We'll see that they put pressure on government, one, to release everybody that has been
arrested.
To put pressure on government to see that there's a change in the social life and to reduce on the breakdown of the law and order. In our thinking, in our opinion, we believe that we can approach it in a different way, to seek for the release of everyone that is arrested.
And what is that different way?
The different way is that I don't believe that to reduce those that are arrested, we have to increase more of the arrested. Are you get what I'm saying? Okujjayo abali mu kkomera kiza nti tulina kwongerayo balala. Nti wetuba nti twagala nti abali mu kkomera bati tunateekawo mbeera eyongerayo balala.
So tetulina kudemandinga just byogereko.
We can demand through forums that are already there. I believe because one of the challenges that we did not get an opportunity to be represented in Parliament as of now. We still have an opportunity at that level to have people that are to generate a debate on actually the disappearance of the people. Who is actually accountable for such? I don't believe that we go into the street. I don't believe that we actually causing a stir will actually force the one that took them to be accountable. I believe that will give him the opportunity to crush others more.
Let me ask you,
yes,
Sadat. We had some of your party leaders, and they told us, actually, most of them have said repeatedly that we are dealing with a dictator.
Yes.
And they have also repeatedly said that you cannot trust a dictator.
Yes.
Which means that even if you have a dialogue with a dictator, you cannot trust that the outcomes will actually be respected. You did see the dialogue or supposed dialogue between the Mao and the NRM.
No.
But let's leave that aside. Let's leave that aside.
Dialogue.
Here is what I'm trying to say. Is you're saying that most of the things you want to address using dialogue, which is a good approach. Because it is less. Because there is no force involved.
Because in most of the issues that not every issue that was part of the memoranda at Africana is requires dialogue. But one of the key and most daring issue is to have a conversation in regards to the breakdown of the law and order. Breakdown of the law and order is an issue that you can only dialogue about with or without, with a dictator or not. Why?
The issue is with who?
The issue is however dishonest the dictator may be, will also not like to rule or lead in an ungovernable situations. In a situation whereby very many young people since elections are missing, because in one of the efforts, by the way, if we are to be honest, to follow the history of this country, there has ever been a dialogue on people that were abducted and forced into the rebel group, and they were repatriated and they were incorporated into society. And they were given amnesty. All those were efforts of dialogue. Yes, in most cases, or in some cases, it is not, you cannot trust. But the only way to mitigate some of those issues is to have a honest conversation about them. If people that had actually even taken guns were given amnesty as a result of dialogue, they were not just subjected to brute force. To force into a dialogue. They accepted, they went for a dialogue, an honest one, and those that were willing to benefit from it were incorporated.
Except now the people you're dealing with are not willing to have a honest dialogue with you.
That is on the face value of it. Because I don't believe that there has been a proper, structured mechanism of having that dialogue.
Because the other party is not interested in the dialogue.
You see. That is where I disagree with the people. Yes, we are dealing with the dictator. The dictator is dishonest.
Very.
Now replace the dictator, or replace the scenario. Let's change the scenario.
What is this?
The scenario. You're a young man. You are interested in a young lady. The young lady, you know that the young lady will 90% chances the young lady will refuse you. Do you approach that young lady, or you keep on lamenting that this woman is going to send me away?
I'll probably try and fail.
Definitely.
Which we have done.
Definitely.
I'll give you a case study.
Definitely. Come and say, before I moved to the streets, I had asked for a dialogue. And it had been structured through this person, through this mediation strategy. The dictator, dishonest as he is, refused, failed to give us the dialogue. Now, the only option available, I will then say, yes, I am with you. But you sitting in your comfort zone and say, as I see this man, will not accept this dialogue. Please, table the dialogue.
Can I give you the case study?
Let it collapse, and it will be evident and justifiable as to why all of us should now come up and. Because sometimes we take these small things for granted. It may actually take an individual to push for dialogue to crack something that had been so complex. But because we are not giving it an opportunity, we tend to think that the man is, we tend to think that the man will always act in their natural senses of always being dishonest. No.
You are asking that, saying that we have not given a chance to dialogue.
In some cases.
Not I wanted to give you a case study which involved one of you.
My what?
Party leaders. We had the Kasese massacre and all that thing. We had the Honorable Winicheza even meeting the president on some of those things. Up to now, and there were obviously promises made. Up to now, nothing has ever been done. Would you call that a dialogue? It wasn't.
It was a dialogue.
How was there results or there was not?
There were results, partial results.
What were the results?
One of the results was the king of Renzururu was released. That one is an achievement.
To house arrest?
Whatever it was, so embarrassing to have a king in jail.
In prison.
In prison.
So that would you think that was a success?
At least he was arrested at home. At least. though in that situation, it was the highest level of dishonesty by the regime. But you could not prove that dishonesty without giving it an opportunity. She went for the dialogue, and whereas it did not yield the much wanted fruits whereby people should be released, the sick should go home, but also there was a group that was released sometime thereafter. But it did not work out as it was supposed to work out. But it also exonerated the leadership of the then leader of opposition. Nobody will ever blame her for having not tried or done her part.
She did that.
Secondly, nobody will blame her for having taken them into a line of fire without exhausting all means of
available. Yes.
So, in that regard, the blame shifted from her to the dictator.
Ndoza today ko katono wali wetu atandikide enkolagana ya Alliance for National Transformation n'ebibiina ebirala ebisiikinga for change. Bwe mubanga temwenyigiddemu activities ezimu opposition parties bezikola, don't you think kiwa ekifaananyi wabweru nti mulinga abataagala kwegatta ate nga bannayuganda lwe luyimba olumu akwezo ze babadde bayimba?
Etwa tugenda mu 2021 elections batuuza ekibuuzo ekyo. Why don't we join other forces? And we said that joining as opposition forces, it does not mean that we must all line up behind one individual. In our view, we can work together by holding joint campaigns, by organizing joint rallies, by actually even having a single joint protection team of all opposition candidates, regardless of who is supporting who. Now, twagala okujjayo kino kyekino nti in most cases also wetubanga uniting, unity erina okuba on a cause and on a purpose. It's not for the sake that you are seeing us seated here, the three of us, that we are united. There must be something that we are working towards that unites us. Because the reason as to why he is NUP, I am ANT, and is FDC, or is DP, they are different.
Disclaimer, I am not NUP.
I was giving an example. I am the only one that is ANT. And in that regard, yes, waliwo ensonga lwaki olina bamemba n'abamemba abange. Era wembanga ndese bamemba abange tulina okubanga tulina kyetugoba era nga kiri definite. It is si kugamba bukezi nti netukuba press conference nti twegasse. Let me just break down these things logically.
So yensonga lwaki mwasalawo okuteekawo candidate? Which by election was it?
No, not only by election.
Mwasalawo opposition okolaganira wamu ne basimba ku muntu omu. But then we also saw Alliance for National Transformation.
Yes, it was in I think it was in Amuru.
Yeah, Ewali Atani.
No,
that is so.
That is Sorote.
different.
It was in Amur, I think.
Yeah.
But yes, in Amur again we explained that we support all efforts of the opposition in changing this country. But we are building a political party. The presence of our candidate is not for now, but is for the future. You realize that the young man that was contesting on behalf of the ANT was actually the person that was, if in honesty, if it was as a generational cause was, he was the rightful candidate to actually be the opposition candidate. You bring a 60-something-year-old man to represent a youthful political party, let me say, to contest a young man in an election.
You see, the standing is not an issue of age, it's an issue
because
the
demographics,
the
understanding of the electorate and the demographics speak that the majority of people that will participate in that election are young people.
It doesn't mean that we send an inexperienced one because
and in this regard, we had sent a 30-year-old man, an advocate at that, who was to compete with the son of the former speaker. And in this, we are saying that this person that has been decided as the opposition candidate, who has an MP for 2 terms, has been in battles with the late speaker. I think it is time to pass on the baton to the new breath of change in opposition as well. There is nothing, in our opinion, that this person could influence onto the electorate. But again, we are saying that, anyhow, since that person is the opposition chosen candidate, we are to participate in this election not as a protest, but as an effort to beef up whatever he will be doing. And our candidate, we do not see our candidate in any way attacking the joint opposition candidate. Actually, in some of the polling sessions, our agent provided the declaration form to the opposition candidate, that was the joint opposition candidate. So it takes me back to what I was saying, that unity is not a one-day event. It's for a purpose, and it must be nurtured. Rashly calling forces to come and sign a declaration on TV is good. But what is the impact of that declaration? We agree that we need to unite as yesterday, but we should unite on a cause. Is it to do joint activities to see change in this country? Is it to prepare for elections? Because also you ask the two camps that are actually that are united now. One will ask one camp, will you be in the 2021 election, 2026 elections? They will tell you, we don't believe in elections.
And then
another one will say, please go and register, pick national IDs.
And keep quiet.
Kati,
so is that unity?
Sadat, don't you think nti okwegatta kwamwe waliwo ekirungo kye muyinza otteeka ku mmeeza, because onyonyodde ku bintu ebimu abakulembeze be beetaaga okuba nga babangulwa. So don't you think nti okwegatta kwamwe kulina ekirungo kye kuyinza otteekawo oba ne musomesa abakulu bano okuva mu political parties ez'enjawulo nti okay, bwe tugenda mu kalulu alina kweyisa bw'ati, tolina kuvuma, tolina kukola ki, nga Alliance for National Transformation bye mukkiririzaamu?
Byetukkiririzaamu tusuubira ne political parties endala zibikkiririzaamu. Teri political party teyagala kuorganizinga, teri political parties etayagala ku awakeninga masses. Naye obuzibu oba issue ekyasinza okubeerawo is the level gye tukikoleramu, ne pace gye tutambulirako, n'eki kye twandisoose okukola priorities. Ffe tugamba prioritizing ennyo okuzimba critical mass. Whereas others bagamba that mass eriwo gye tuba tugalvanizinga to capturing power. Tugamba nti whereas we want to take power, but whom are we ourselves? Are we really ready to take over? Because it can happen one day, you wake up and the president is no more.
What will it take for you to be ready to take over? what will it take for you to be ready to take over? Because, okay, well, that is one thing.
As I was, yes.
Even when you see the current president, I don't know if you could conclude that by the time he took over, he was actually ready to be president of this country. But that's a discussion of another day. Because when we go in the debate of we need to first get ready to take over, that will never end. Because, I mean, how long will it take for you to be ready?
It will end the day you wake up and you find that in all corners of this country you are represented. By the way, there is no logic about elections. In most cases, in the previous election, do you know how many candidates came unopposed?
There are many, I don't know exactly.
So, if the opposition forces that want to unite could not unite to say that let us first unite and make sure that all positions there is an opposition candidate. That's the simplest thing to first start with. But then we are saying that we have to build a structure. We have to build a base that is going to support our ideas and our political party. We are building structures of the party before we engage in any activity that when we have a support system that will support those activities. If we say that we are going for prayers, it will be very, very nice and important that the leadership of A&T prayers are going to be held in, let me say, Masaka, are grossly involved in organizing those prayers, because they are the people that will remain there trying to re-emphasize the message. Not we coming from Kampala to preach to those that we are from Masaka, as if in Masaka they do not have opinion leaders there. So we are saying that let we empower our people in different areas. Let we build a support system that can support each part of the country, and with such a structure, we can easily have activities that can push the dictator out. But without a support base, you organize a rally, you organize a meeting, within the next 5 minutes you are dispersed, and business moves as usual, and nothing. Business comes back to normal, and it seems there is nothing that happened. Yet we have been organizing for that particular incident for almost like a month or two. But it has been dispersed, or it has been reduced to nothing within minutes. But with a system that will have continuity, with or without the leaders, because people would believe that this is a people-led initiative. All people, wherever they will be believing that this approach taken is the right thing to do, and it will be very difficult to silence the few when others are just popping up.
Let me go through these comments. Ndaba kadde tekatutambuza bulungi. Waliwo wano abuuziza. Honorable Gerard Karuhanga is a renowned A&T member, but accused of vote buying during the mock convocation. Is this the breed of A&T?
Should I answer that?
Yes.
First of all, that's an allegation that we cannot easily substantiate here or prove. But since it is an allegation, he is an member of A&T, Honorable Gerard Karuhanga, and any member like any other, and any human being like any other. So any human being is prone to making mistakes if they can make them. And as I've stated, there are allegations. But that does not mean that if he's I&T prominent member, he's not prone to making mistakes. We all make mistakes, and that is why we are always teaching ourselves that this is not the way we are supposed to be moving as a country.
Okay.
If that were the case, NRM would say every time they do something wrong, they can plead that was a mistake. If we go with we are human beings and therefore we make mistakes, I don't think vote buying is a mistake. And
I believe that you may be emotionally charged and you not think in the right senses. But what makes a mistake is a one-off. But the continuity of doing something is a habit.
Okay.
And sometimes beyond that it becomes a vice. And according to his statement, it is in the convocation.
Can you run into a wall and say
yes, I can state so, because Honorable Karuhanga has been an MP for some time. Such allegations have never come out. So if
this is the first time.
If such an allegation has come out, which is not yet proven, if such an allegation has come out, we can give it a
excuse you because it's the first time.
Maybe if it happened, no, we don't say we can excuse it. Maybe if it happened, it was as there must have been something unusual, but the continuity of doing something becomes a habit and a vice, and it becomes intolerant.
Okay, another comment comes, Sadat and other youth leaders in ANT, if the marking scheme was out of 10 marks, how many can they give themselves? Secondly, what happened to Uganda's political party youth wings for sure? Don't they feel ashamed of their ill performance as compared to people like Julius Malema, once an ANC youth leader?
That person has brought it to light the way I want it. First of all, I will start with the second question, because the first question has been debunked by the second question. The second question clearly shows that he has lost faith in the youth leagues and their leaders. So rating ourselves in front of him, he has already given us a poor performance. The issue of youth leagues and the shrinking youth space has been deliberate, by the way. You will find that the few that are still remaining have been reduced to being handlers, PAs and the likes of the senior politicians. Yeah. One, this is because of the economic situation in this country. Secondly, because of the limited space for growth in most of the political parties. That after you performing as a youth leader, what is the next position, or where are you going to be fitting in the political party setting after you hitting the 30 years and above mark? So all those things have led to frustrations, whereby that the people that have been groomed through the system of youth politics end up disappearing after, because the political parties have not put mechanisms of continuing to retain these members. It is a fault of those individuals. It's our fault that in most cases we have not put ourselves out there to champion one of the most challenging causes in this country. But the comparison to Malemo VNC, who was a young man, made a lot of mistakes. I was telling you off air here that he brought a disaster into the South African presidency because of being unchecked, and he ended up himself advocating for
Marema is so contradictory. I wouldn't even use him as
so
an example.
In that situation, I agree that we have not reached that level. And also, if you look at the history of the then UIDs, the shrinking youth spaces have been as a result of the lack of retention by the youth leagues and by the mother parties. You'll find that the young people in the political parties are not as a contributing factor, but they are regarded as a threat. So the more you get rid of the young people in the political party, the more you will have comfort in leading that political party. So that's why that you find that the Democratic Party had to find a remedy to reduce on the aggressiveness of the UID. Okay. Then you find that political parties no longer want youth leagues to be semi-autonomous, so that they can do or manage their own affairs. Yes, we are partly to blame because we have not been aggressive enough in pushing for the youth causes and youth spaces in these political parties. But where we can, we have tried and we have done our best.
There is another last comment. It says, as for me, ANT is like a white and skeptical pigeon that is hungry, sees its food be food in dirty mud. At heart it wants that snail, but because this pigeon fears dirtening itself, it considers keeping in the sky with hope that maybe someday this snail will fly up to the hopeful white pigeon.
So if I'm to use the same analogy, I don't know the name of the person that commented, but I would equally state that that white pigeon really survives, that doesn't die of hunger, though it may not have eaten that snail in the dirty mud, because it believes that I am worth more than a dirty snail. I am preparing myself to take on a wholesome, decent meal. That's the NT, saying that Ugandans are decent people.
As you conclude.
Ugandans are people that deserve better. Why should we do that in ourselves so that we survive? We should create a mechanism, a system whereby we can survive decently. Why should I attack somebody because I want to get a meal? Why should I be vulgar because I want to earn a living? No, I believe that as a decent person, I should earn decently and I should live a decent life. Is that bad? I don't believe. And I believe Ugandans deserve that. And they want it. But because people believe that the end justifies the means, however that you may be, provided that you are not hungry, no. We should accept the small sacrifices so that we can gain the greater good. So, yes, the ANT is that white pigeon that really believes that it does not deserve to eat that.
Okay. Your concluding remarks as we come to the end of the show.
Yes, I want to thank
and tell us what you have in plans for youth.
Oh, yes, we are planning 4 regional conferences for the young people. One will be on the rule of law, and to equip the young people to understand the laws that are governing them, and also how to mobilize within the current political dispensation. We are also thinking largely on equipping the young people with entrepreneurial skills. Whereas we may talk politics every day, but at the end of the day, politics, if you are to participate in it, you must incur cost. So these people must be given the knowledge of how they can sustain themselves while they are doing politics. So we are thinking of getting people that are in the know of how people can do entrepreneurship projects alongside their political activism and other political activities. So we are starting the year on that note, and we expect that at least in those 4 conferences, those that will participate will have the opportunity of gaining those skills.
Okay, so that is how we're going to conclude it. Any more?
Okay, I thank the presenters today and the management of the Alternative Digitalk for hosting me, and also to wish everybody here and those viewing us a happy new year.
Thank you so much. And as I kubanga twongerako ekigambo kyonna, I want to thank Kabale Eric, novelist, Namuguzi Antale Lude, Magara Brian, na Nensima Bekuneka Christine. Thank you so much for watching.
Also the producers of this beautiful show. I equally wish them blessings of the new year.
Okay. Mwebale nnyo mwebalire ddala ndowooza mukulu Rogers agenda kubanga atujja wano obubaka bwonna bwagenda okubanga atuwa awo tugenda okubanga atuwunzikira naye nga nsigadde nze omumbejja luwedde. Lilian, back to you. Rogers, to the hub.
Thank you so much, Lilian, and the gentleman honorable, we called him earlier, Sadat Maseruka. Thank you so much for sparing time to be with us. I think you have provided quite a good defense for your party on a number of issues. It should should kind of elevate you. You would do a good representation as a spokesperson. Thank you so much for doing that as a service. I think it's important that people are in the know what is going on around them, especially in this political realm. Politics determines everything. It determines the food you eat on your plate, determines where you sleep, where your children go to school, which road you use. Every single thing depends on the politics. So you cannot afford to look the other side and say, politics, that I cannot be involved in that. I don't like politics. I'm not a politician. I don't do politics. I see a lot of young people do that, but let me tell you, everything you do is determined by those who are now doing the politics. So either you determine what you do or some other people are going to determine it for you. So that is what I have for you today. Thank you so much for being with us, and have yourselves a very good morning.
The Alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.